welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Over 16 NFL seasons, Dan Marino has set 24 NFL passing records. The only accolade that has escaped this veteran, a Super Bowl ring. And time is running out on his Hall of Fame career. Kordell Stewart's young career is beginning to blossom, showing signs that he's looking to lead the Pittsburgh Steelers back to another Super Bowl. Today we'll see two of the best in the business as Pittsburgh takes on Miami. And that's next.
We welcome you to South Florida in Week 3 of the 1998 NFL season on CBS. Battle of early season undefeateds today. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Miami Dolphins both come in with 2-0 records. Hi once again, everybody. Vern Lundquist along with Randy Cross. Yes, it's early season. They are undefeated, but they've gone ugly early. Both teams, they haven't looked very pretty in winning these two games. Kordell Stewart says he needs to be more instinctive, Randy, and Dan Marino says he feels like he's got handcuffs on.
Well, you know, I thought I was at a back-to-nature meeting all weekend long because guys are saying, Kordell, I got to get back to being natural. Just do what's natural. Dan Marino says they want me to throw it up. They want me to throw it short. That's against my nature. We're going to find out about the nature of both these football teams right after this.
And we are joined by the third member of our commentary team on the sideline right now, Michelle Tafoya.
Vern, thanks. I'm with Jimmy Johnson, whose Dolphins are 2-0, and yet the offense has received criticism. You said you don't expect Dan Marino and the offense to be fully in sync until week 4 or 5. Here we are in week 3. What kind of progress do you expect today?
Well, you know, of course, going against the Steelers, we're going to have to get some big plays out of the passing game, but, you know, we still got to be effective running the football, and Dan's done a great job. He's really higher rated at this time this year than what he was a year ago, so we're on schedule.
Coach, good luck. Thanks.
All right, thank you.
Vern, let's send it back upstairs to you.
All right, Michelle, Pittsburgh will kick off. That means Norm Johnson, and Miami sends two men deep. Brock Marion and John Avery. Avery, the rookie #1 draft pick, wearing number 20, has a 31-yard kick return average through the first two games. He has got great speed. Johnson kicks it, and Brock Marion goes over, leaves it for Avery, and here we go from Pro Player Stadium. John Avery breaks a tackle and then is spilled as he gets out to the 28-yard line. Dan Marino in his 16th season as the head quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. And up front, he's got a couple of new guards. Mark Dixon at left guard and Kevin Donnelly, the veteran who was signed as a free agent at right guard. Tim Ruddy is the center. Backs and receivers, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar gets the majority of the carries. Oronde Gadsden, quite a story that will develop throughout the afternoon. Both wide receivers open wide left on first down and 10. A double tight end set for the Dolphins, 1st and 10 from their own 29-yard line. Marino going deep on first down over Dwayne Washington, and Washington catches up as the ball is underthrown.
Vern, that's exactly how I expected Dan Marino and that offense to start up, going downtown on Washington, not going after Carnell Lake. And Dan Marino told us yesterday, Vern, I have to learn to just throw the ball up for grabs and let this young receiver Gadsden just go up and get it.
Oronde Gadsden, August the 2nd, was playing in the Arena League for the Portland Forest Dragons. Signed as a free agent, now a starter, but an incomplete pass on first down. Lamar Thomas and Charles Jordan come in at wide receivers. Marino goes right side and goes deep again. And that one is overthrown. Carnell Lake defending Charles Jordan. Let's check the Steelers' defense. They have been surprisingly susceptible to the run in the first two games. Orpheus Roy gets only his second start, replacing Nolan Harrison at right end. Earl Holmes out last week with an injury, back in the lineup at linebacker. And Carnell Lake had a huge game last week in the win over Chicago, including the game-saving interception at the 11-yard line with time running out. 3rd and 10. And Marino has gone way downtown on the first 2 plays. Pittsburgh not blitzing. They're bringing 4. Marino goes left and overthrows an open Lamar Thomas. And the murmurs from the sellout crowd reverberate.
Well, folks, for all the, gee, we've changed the emphasis around here. Miami just comes out gunning, looking like the Dan Marino Dolphins on that first possession. But I think this is an excellent way for this Dolphins offense to start. Pittsburgh comes in with an attitude. You want to play tough, we're going to smack you in the face. And they come out throwing the ball, testing the corners. I like it.
Andre Coleman back for Pittsburgh. Waits for Klaus Wilmsmeyer's punt. Wilmsmeyer out of football last year, signed as a free agent. 2 years with New Orleans prior to that, and 3 years with the 49ers. High, but not very deep. And Coleman with a fair catch grabs it at the 38-yard line. A 33-yard punt. Nothing on the return. Cordell Stewart, in his first 2 starts, tentative. And offensively, he is joined on the line by Dermontti Dawson, who anchors the center, and Dawson is starting his 151st consecutive game, joined by Wolford, Duffy, Stye, and Strauzic. Backs and receivers, Jerome Bettis over 100 yards in his second game last week. 1st and 10, Steelers at the 37. Stewart into the flat. Caught by Bettis, and the bus is bounced out of bounds by Zach Thomas. Defensively for the Dolphins, 8 sacks last week. They will interchange their defensive line throughout the game. Linebackers are anchored by Zach Thomas in the middle. And in the secondary, Terrell Buckley has 2 interceptions in the early going. Brock Marion, free agent acquisition in the offseason, starts at free safety.
Don't be surprised by this Pittsburgh start. Bill Cowher told us yesterday, weather permitting, we're putting the ball in the air early.
John Whitman comes to the near side. Cordell Stewart looks right, fires on a slant pattern. Incomplete for Charles Johnson.
There's an example, Vern, of Cordell Stewart early in the game when he told us when we talked to him yesterday, you know, guys, I get so excited that sometimes I'm bouncing, I want to get to my receiver, and I'll just overthrow a pass. I'll throw it so fast, it'll be in the right spot, but there's so much heat on it, the receiver really cannot make this catch. He's really excited, he lets it go, and there's so much steam, Charles Johnson's got no shot.
3rd and 8, Pittsburgh. Ball just short of their own 44 wide receivers. Blitz coming from the Dolphins. Cordell Stewart steps up, pumps, runs, and is tackled short of the first down at the 43-yard line. Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas got to him. It'll be 4th down.
A smart move by that Dolphins defense, though, holding Zach Thomas back to watch Cordell Stewart, because the rush flushed him, and when he stepped up, Zach Thomas was there to help on that tackle.
Now Josh Miller, who is 2nd in the NFL and leads the AFC in punting with a 48.8 average. That's rather gaudy, even though it's only the 2nd week, is back to punt. Charles Jordan, inactive a week ago with a groin pull, back to return the punt. And the lefty sends this one way out of sight. 57-yard punt, no return. Josh Miller had 2 of 60 a week ago when he averaged 51 yards on 8 punts over Chicago. Bill Cowher's team, 7th season he's been there, and Steelers not known for fast starts under Cowher. So he said last night, if somebody else asked me what's wrong when we're 2-0, he said, I'm not sure what I'm going to do.
I told him, how dare you look that bad and be 2-0? His eyebrows shot up about his hairline.
1st and 10. Miami 3 and out the first time, and they went to the air. Marino slips and hands it off behind the line. Joel Steed, who is the massive nose tackle, caved everything in, number 93, and made the stop.
Penetration kills an offensive scheme as far as running the ball. Watch Steed just come across the ball right here. When he comes through, right through Tim Ruddy's face into the Miami backfield. Wow. That's one, when you're a center and a nose guard does that to you, you're just hoping there was a TV blackout, an electrical shortage, something happened that they didn't catch it.
Center is Tim Ruddy, as Randy said. Here's the handoff left side. Jabbar quick opener out across the 25 to the 26-yard line. Goes Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Earl Holmes makes the tackle.
You know, interesting enough, you talked earlier about the fact that people have run the ball against this Pittsburgh defense, and they've done it inside. Steed's in there, Kirkland's in there, Holmes is in there. These are three real sturdy run stuffers, and thus far teams are getting inside real quick. That was a great little quick trap by Kevin Donnelly.
On 3rd and 4, O.J. McDuffie and Lamar Thomas come near side, and Oronde Gadsden is left against Dwayne Washington. Watch that matchup. Washington was beaten for a 50-yard touchdown pass last week. He's blitzing. They go right out into the left flat, and Darren Perry makes the tackle, but not before Oronde Gadsden picks up enough for the first down.
Something unusual on Gadsden. He wears a face shield. And the face shield, he busted his orbit in his right eye. He's got a titanium plate in there. He wears the shield so he can't get poked in the eye. And also when he gets in these physical matchups, which they love to have with Gadsden physically against a smaller corner at that size, 6'2", 218. He's not blazingly fast, but what the Dolphins love about him, especially Kippy Brown, their offensive coordinator, is you just throw it near him and he catches it.
He is in as the starter now. Here's Marino into the flat, caught by Troy Drayton, the tight end. And that's out near the 41-yard line before Lethan Flowers makes the tackle. And it's another gain of 9 yards.
Troy Drayton, a player that's been a little, well, unhappy with his role so far. Ed Perry's been brought in a lot on 3rd down. They've thrown the ball a lot to Perry. Drayton is a guy that you'll see on 1st and 2nd down in the passing game. Don't be fooled by this 270-pound thing. It's all kind of like Levon Kirkland. This guy can run, and he can threaten the middle of the field, and Marino likes to get it to him.
2nd and 1. Pittsburgh threatening to bring the house again defensively. Handoff goes to Jabbar, steps out of a tackle, breaks into the secondary, and fumbles. The ball is still loose, and finally Dwayne Washington falls on it for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That is the first offensive turnover this season for the Dolphins.
Watch the wall that forms of the offensive line. Great job by Donnelly. Fantastic job by James Brown. Jabbar just loses the handle. The scramble is on. But here's what the Steelers do to so many teams. They make you make a critical mistake, and they take advantage. Will they do it now against Miami Dolphins defense?
Entered by Ford, IBM, and by Norelco.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with an 18-yard run, but a fumble after he was hit by Darren Perry. Steelers take over, and they have a new left guard. Their #1 draft choice, Alan Faneca, replaces Roger Duffy. Blitz coming from Miami. Stewart goes deep, man coverage right side. Puts it up. There's a tussle for the ball. Terrell Buckley defending, and Charles Johnson, the intended receiver, and it comes down in between them.
Let's take a look back at the fumble just 2 plays ago. And what happened to Jabbar? Watch Perry's left arm come through here. This is taught in training camp. This is great defensive football. Jabbar has got the ball, but the hand is stripped through. The point of the ball in the hand is what makes it come loose. That is excellent.
Stewart goes deep on 1st down. Now backs are in the eye. Will Blackwell, number 89, in motion. Comes back, the toss, the bus, a flag is down. Jerome Bettis held to 41 yards on 23 carries against Baltimore week 1. Responded with a big effort, including a 42-yard run last week, but this one could be wiped out. Yep, double shift. The referee today, Bill Carollo, and Bill Cower looking on.
Illegal shift. The players are not all 11 set. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
And that will bring up a 3rd and 10.
The Miami Dolphins are very aware of the fact that Bill Cower's got a rookie left guard in there in Alan Faneca. If they do the smart thing here coming after Cordell Stewart, you're going to see stunts and blitzes on the left side testing this young rookie out right now. This is a situation to go to blitz, get the sack, and get some great field position.
Faneca, the #1 draft pick from Louisiana State. Dolphins in the nickel defense. They've got 3 down. Quick off the line. They bring 5, including Zach Thomas. And out of the backfield here is Chris Fa'amatu-Ma'afala, rookie from Utah, and he gets only to the 33-yard line. 6th-round draft pick. And he has become a 3rd down specialist for the Steelers.
Let's take a look at Faneca, see how he does. No blitz on his side. He's got responsibility for the screen pass. He locks up with Zach Thomas. You see those feet? You see the way that young lineman moved with a smaller linebacker and Zach Thomas? That's why a guy gets drafted in the 1st round, and that's why Bill Cowher is so excited about this young guy and getting him in the ball game.
Injured player for the Dolphins comes off after the play. Sam Madison, it appears to be. And on 4th down, Josh Miller will punt for the 2nd time. Charles Jordan waits for it at the 20-yard line. Miller booms another, sending Jordan all the way back to the 10, and it's out of bounds somewhere between the 10 and 20. There is a flag down at the 24, so this may come back. 56-yard punt. What's gotten into Josh Miller? Personal foul, face mask, Steelers. Jimmy Johnson doesn't waste any time.
Personal foul, face mask, 15-yard penalty, number 33. Repeat 4th down.
Penalty against Richard Huntley. Working on the special teams, and there's John Zook, the special teams coach of the Steelers, and that is a real shame for the Steelers, because what a great job by Miller kicking that ball precisely out of bounds like that. I love that. It's a dead skill. Nobody does this anymore, kicking out to the perimeters instead of just hanging it and trying to get people underneath it, and all negated by really what has to be considered a stupid penalty against Richard Huntley.
So now Miller is backed up inside the 5. Jordan moves up near the 35. 15-yard variety. It was the big one. And it wipes out a superb punt by Josh Miller. Rodenhauser snaps it back. This is another beauty. Wow! Over the catch, and Jordan bobbles it. That is in the books as a muff. Another flag is down, and it may come back and wipe out a second superb punt. This one's 67 yards. Hold the celebration if you're from Pittsburgh. But it's going to go against Miami. Now you can celebrate.
That might be as good a start as I've ever seen a kicker punter get off to these first 3 weeks for Josh Miller.
Well, we saw him week 1. He had a 68-yarder at a critical time.
Holding number 57 of the receiving team to half the distance to the goal. 1st down, timeout.
O.J. Brigance. Last week, Josh Miller kicked 2 of 60. That last one was 67 under duress. Can get a little humid here in South Florida. We've had isolated thunderstorms for the last 2 or 3 days. So the welcome relief of a fan. A sellout crowd today at Pro Player Stadium. Temperature in the upper 80s, and the humidity, that's about what it usually is.
There's a method to the Miami madness, too, of wearing the white jerseys and letting teams like the Steelers wear their black.
After the penalty on Brigance, double tight end set and 1 running back now. Marino will hand it off at the behind the line. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar gets out to the 5-yard line. Well, strap yourself in. The new season of JAG is about to take off. See why JAG is the fastest growing drama on television. Get ready for the all-new JAG. It premieres Tuesday night on CBS.
If I'm Dan Marino in this offense, though, I got to be a little concerned about the penetration we're seeing right now into his backfield on a couple of these runs. First, it was Joel Steed. That case right there was Orpheus Roy, 71, who's starting for Nolan Harrison. Got right in the backfield and stuffed that run immediately.
Orpheus Roy in his 3rd season, only his 2nd start. He got 1 his rookie year. And time has been called now by the Miami Dolphins, so they have to burn one as the time was winding down. We'll be back in Miami in a moment. Where the Dolphins face a second down and 9. Scoreless first quarter. Miami penetrated as deep as the 25-yard line of Pittsburgh, but Kareem Abdul-Jabbar fumbled when hit by Darren Perry. Midway through the first quarter of play, Dolphins opened the season at Indianapolis, won on the road, came back, had the 8 sacks in defeating Buffalo last week. Pittsburgh got to 2-0 by winning at Baltimore on the week in Road 1, and then last week holding off Chicago by 5. So they are both unblemished. Second and 9, and Marino with a play fake. Looks deep right side, throws it out, overthrows his intended receiver O.J. McDuffie with Carnell Lake right there. And right now, let's go back to our New York studios, an NFL update. Here's Jim Nantz.
Well, Vern and Randy, Vinny Testaverde got the start for the Jets today. The third play of the game for New York. He dumps it off to Leon Johnson, and he just shreds the Colts secondary. 82 yards, the longest pass play for the Jets in 12 years. And just a moment ago, Vinny was shaken up. He might be removed from the game. Let's go back down to Miami.
All right, Jimmy, and of course Glenn Foley, Randy, bothered by rib injury in the second half of the game last week. So,
well, Bill Parcells is about production. He's got nothing to do about people's feelings.
Third down, that one is knocked away by Carnell Lake, who was all over O.J. McDuffie. Carnell Lake, 8 tackles and an interception last week, and then walked off the field and presented the game ball to his 3-year-old daughter, Sienna.
And on that play, he's covering O.J. McDuffie, and Dan Marino's been criticized down here in the Miami area about throwing too much to O.J. McDuffie. After watching the tapes, the reason he throws too much to O.J. McDuffie, he happens to be the only guy getting open enough for him to throw the ball to on most occasions.
Klaus Wilmsmeyer for his second punt. Andre Coleman comes back. That's a fine punt by Wilmsmeyer. At the 41, here's Coleman. And he's got a little room for the counterpunch. Dwight Hollier, number 50, and O.J. Brigance collaborate for the tackle. Larry Izzo was also there. Teammates take the field. Charles Jordan is going to ride to Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, he's keeping that hamstring warm, but, you know, notice he stops. He only rides it when he thinks the coaches aren't looking. As soon as Jimmy turns around, those wheels start spinning again.
First down, Steelers in a scoreless game with their best field position. They've got the ball at the Miami 46-yard line. They load it up on the right side. Stewart hands it off to Jerome Bettis. He doesn't find much as he tests the right side of the offensive line. Bettis with 1,600 yards last year. Well, a doubleheader for you on CBS coming up next. The Denver Broncos, and we are told John Elway's back in the saddle. They go out to Oakland to take on the Raiders. Most of you will see that game. Others will see what should be a very competitive game between Baltimore and Jacksonville.
I'm really curious in that big one, though, to see what Oakland Raider football team shows up. There's always a question.
Second and 7, a 4-man rush for Miami. Stewart pumps once, set is for the short receiver, and he loses yardage. Courtney Hawkins tackled by Derek Rogers and Robert Jones.
I'm not sure if anybody out on this drill really wanted the ball because nobody's open. Hawkins just kind of gets it by default because he happens to be the one guy that Cordell Stewart can look on a little check down as he crossed the field. But a nice job by this Dolphins defense of covering the receivers. Bill Cowher is facing a defense for Miami that is quick and active and will stay in Cordell Stewart's face.
3rd and 10. 8-man front now for the Dolphins. Out of a shotgun, Stewart. Quick delivery behind his former Colorado teammate Charles Johnson. Incomplete punting situation. Nice job by the Miami defense.
Well, Vern, I said quick and active. Jason Taylor is the quickest and most active player on this defense for Miami. And he moves all over in this Cobra defense. Look at him coming from the one side, working against Faneca, puts the rookie down. Zach Thomas coming from the other side as the outside linebacker gets the hit on Stewart. That confuses quarterbacks.
Last time out, Josh Miller pummeled one 67 yards. Here's his 3rd punt tonight. This is the shortest of the 3, and it's still outstanding. And a fair catch called by Charles Jordan at the 6. That's only 40, but my, how effective for Josh Miller. Check out the official NFL website for live play-by-play and statistics from every game. Plus, you can log on every Monday morning for Week 3 highlights and recaps on www.nfl.com.
Yeah, so far, Vern, what we've seen now is really some great big special teams plays, some great kicks, and we've also seen some field position changes. These are two coaches that, unlike a lot of coaches in this league, are very, very aware of special teams. And it's not just the kickers like Josh Miller. It's the coach has to make the commitment to the special teams game. And both these coaches have starters and players on their roster that the only reason they're there is for special teams.
Double tight end set on first down for the Dolphins inside their 10 for the second consecutive series. But Abdul-Jabbar showing nice speed, and a flag is down that may negate this run.
That's all going to be a hold against the Miami Dolphins offensive line.
Well, Abdul-Jabbar's longest career run is only 27 yards. Last week he had a 40-yard effort.
Number 61 offense. Half the distance to the goal. Replay first down.
That one wiped out by Ed Perry. This one by Tim Ruddy.
Well, Tim Ruddy off to a rough start. Joel Steed kind of put him on his backside on one play. Now he gets caught on a good run by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with a good quick hitting play. That's how you hit this defense. Ruddy and that offensive line have got to hit this defense fast. They're strong, but they're also great sideline to sideline.
First and 13 at the 4-yard line. Blitz coming from Earl Holmes. And Jabbar, little juke, gets back to the 5-yard line. Nice defense. Lethon Flowers, number 41, will do a little strut.
Well, Lethon Flowers should be proud of what he's done here, because this is the kind of defense that wins you football games. Here's Flowers. Watch the linebackers and the rest of the defense react, but watch Flowers fill up when he sees the run start coming back to him. Talk about responsibility. What's a safety on the backside supposed to do? You fill up, you break down, and you stop what could have been a good play. You get a little overly excited. Mr. Flowers, you are paid to do that.
And a second down and 12. Here's Marino, quick setup, left flat, caught by McDuffie, out of one tackle, can't escape the second. And he is tackled at the 13 by Levon Kirkland. That will bring up a 4th down and a punting situation.
What I like about O.J. McDuffie, though, Vern, is McDuffie is an air guy. What I refer to as air guys, and that's people that want to have as much air and space around them as possible, because they can do this. They can make people miss. And if you get a Levon Kirkland who finally kind of tripped up McDuffie in the open field against a guy like this, forget about it.
3rd and 4 after the penalty, of course. And out of the shotgun, Marino. Pittsburgh, zone blitz. Pass in the flat, good open field tackle out there by Mike Vrabel, number 56, who comes in on the nickel and prevents the Dolphins from getting a 1st down and 10. Lamar Thomas with the catch.
Well, Lamar Thomas is working against Dwayne Washington. He's supposed to get the block out there real quick. He just gets a little piece there from Ed Perry. But nice reaction back outside by Oliver Gibson and Mike Vrabel coming from that right side of the defense. Notice that sideline to sideline. They're big, they're powerful, but they're also fast.
Wilmsmeyer's punt, Andre Coleman. This one is shorter than the last, and it's taken by Coleman. The flag is down at the 16-yard line. A 40-yard punt, nothing on the return, but check the hanky. Multitude of.
There's no foul on the play. 1st down, Pittsburgh.
All right, so we will pick up the flag. CBS Premiere Monday kicks off tomorrow with an all-new Monday. First, the season premiere of Cosby, followed by the new comedy The King of Queens with Kevin James, Jerry Stiller. Then Everybody Loves Raymond, The Brian Benben Show, and L.A. Doctors. All of that on CBS Premiere Monday. First and 10, Johnson in motion. Jerome Bettis, Miami defense.
So far, the Miami defense has got Jerome Bettis doing exactly what they want him to. If the coaches and players on both sidelines can read the number 36 on Jerome Bettis's jersey, it's facing Adam, the defense has a great shot. If they only see the side of Jerome Bettis, that means he's heading straight up the field. If he's going straight up the field, he's making yards. If he's going sideways, he's got some serious trouble.
He's got 3 carries for 7 yards so far. Here's Stewart back. Looks left, man coverage, Charles Johnson, and a flag against either Johnson or Sam Madison. The answer is Sam Madison.
Both these defense love to get in the receivers' faces and play physical.
Illegal contact. Number 29, defense. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Here's the matchup. Johnson and Madison. All the corners in this game want to get up and they just want to pummel. See that left hand? Just see the left hand grabbing and pull. Never let go. Remember, it's 5 yards, but we had a hat go down, a beanbag go down, and a flag go down. At 5 yards of crack, it should be 15 yards.
Well, so
and
far,
it's also a lot of stuff to pick up.
Yeah, this looks a little more like flag football than the NFL. We've had a few penalties. First down for Pittsburgh, and it comes on a penalty.
Difference is, Vern, it hasn't been sloppy football. There have been errors of being just too aggressive.
Dolphins rotate linemen defensively. Here's the toss to Richard Huntley, and Huntley breaks loose and zooms down the sidelines.
A flag back around the 40-yard line, Vern.
Richard Huntley had a 48-yarder in the season opener. Dwayne Starks caught up with him and knocked the ball out through the end zone. And now he's going to have a nice run pulled back because of a holding call.
Anytime you see the back get the corner that quick, you get a little suspicious.
Holding. Number 68, offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Out against the big guard out of the University of Nebraska, Brendan Stye. Boy, they get out quick. Look at there's Stye, 68, the right guard. Zach Thomas, 54, linebacker. Work, work. Look at the left hand. He's got the jersey. He pulls the jersey, and that's why Huntley gets the corner. That's why you get suspicious. Too fast a defense for a running back to get the corner that quick on. And sometimes you get away with that, and sometimes you don't. And that was a great job by the back judge, just standing right there and was looking right at it.
And it wipes out a 24-yard gain. Brings the ire of Bill Cowher. And it's 1st and 13. Scoreless game, 2:30 to go. Opening quarter of play from Miami. Jerome Bettis comes right. John Whitman with a fine block. The tackle is made by Brock Marion at the 43 after a 9-yard gain.
Yeah, that is how Jerome Bettis gets open, is he gets a good lead block by John Whitman, and he gets his shoulders heading up the field. Watch Whitman come from the fullback position right here. Gets another one coming around from Duffy, but the big one right there is Whitman. I mean, you get Jerome Bettis heading forward and not going sideways. It'll take at least 2 guys to stop him.
2nd and 4. Johnson starts in motion. Draw play. Bettis. Bettis to the 32. That's a gain of 12. Move the chains.
Well, remember last time we saw Brendan Stye, he had a little problem with holding. On that play, I think he's the reason that Jerome Bettis got the run right there. He had a very nice block. Just stood up the defender. He was right inside the shirt. And when you get inside the shirt, you might be holding, but they can't see it. Here's Brendan Stye working right there. Working against Shane Burton. He creates that hole. Nice block by Jermani Dawson also, but Brendan Stye opens it up.
Gain of 12 and a first down. 1:04 to go in the quarter. Blitz coming from the outside. The pass is incomplete. Intended for Courtney Hawkins at the 25-yard line.
And so often when you see a quarterback, and this is a great quarterback contrast, Dan Marino has the ability to throw the ball to specific body parts of receivers. Cordell Stewart at this point, not quite that accurate. You know, in that case, he throws the ball slightly behind his receiver. You know, Dan told us when we talked to him, he said, hey, look, they're asking me to throw just a little short. They're asking me to throw it up and just kind of throw it up. Here's a guy known for complete accuracy. Is Cordell known for complete accuracy yet? Not quite.
And this afternoon, he's 3 of 7 for only 3 yards. 2nd and 10. Slips the ball to Bettis, who is brought down behind the line. Excellent penetration again defensively from Miami.
Going sideways.
Kenny Mixon, rookie second-round draft pick, who is in that lineup as a starter because of ability to stop the run.
Everybody raves about what this young guy can do, number 79. And he just stuffs, in this case, the tight end, Bruner, gets into the backfield, and Bettis has to go sideways. Is he going forward with the ball? No. He's going laterally, and that means stuff.
3rd and 11, 4 wide receiver set. Chris Matu-Mafala is in the backfield with Cordell Stewart. They hand it to him. And now he is down at the 29-yard line.
Man, I don't know about that call.
That's a little conservative.
That's extremely conservative. But, you know, Bill Cowher says, I'm not showing all my stuff early. This is only September. But how about a little stuff?
Give us a glimpse, Bill. That's the end of the first quarter. No score. We'll return to Pro Players Stadium right after this message and a word from your local station. Overcast skies and a scoreless game. And the Steelers trying to break that score now. Norm Johnson, who has hit his last 8 field goals in regular season, is on to try one out of Mike Tomczak's hold, and Mark Rodenhauser will snap it back. This will be from 47 yards away. No way. That ends the streak at 8. Kenny Mixon with the penetration. So we remain scoreless in Miami.
Let's take a look here. The rookie Mixon, number 79, comes through with the penetration, shoulder low, right there. Nice job of getting that hand up. Mixon coming off that left side of the Pittsburgh Steelers field goal team, got that block.
Miami Dolphins first down and 10 at the 37. Handoff goes to Jabbar. He comes left and cannot quite break the tackle to get outside. He stopped at the 40 by Levon Kirkland, number 99. Dolphins first quarter possessions now with their first possession of the second half. 3 and out, 5 and a fumble.
That
3 and a punt and 3 and a punt.
That fumble was on its way to being points, the way they were running the ball and moving the ball down the field. And you talk a lot about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar not being the kind of back that gets the huge runs and breaks it up. That's what you're going to get. He's a 1,000-yard rusher. He's going to get you anywhere from 1,000 to 1,200 yards, depending on how many times you give him the ball.
He tries to go right this time behind James Brown and moves it out across the 45 to the 46. What Jabbar does do is score, of course, if he gets in close.
Well, he does. And when you get a guy like Levon Kirkland on the other side, you figure, hey, look, he can splatter him. He's 280 pounds. He's got linebacker eyes. He's going to hit him hard. He's got a shot. Whoops. He got 280 pounds moving left a little too fast because Jabbar cut back the other way and took advantage of the momentum. Momentum can be a back's friend when a big guy is coming at you.
3rd and 1. Scoreless second quarter. Double tight end set. Marino has it. Trips again. And his back is caught in the backfield. Jabbar does not pick up the first down. That is the second time now that Marino has crossed ankles with one of his offensive linemen.
It's just a sprint, you know, not a sprint drop per se, but Jimmy Johnson did this for a lot of years with Emmitt Smith coming out of the backfield for the Cowboys. The quarterback sprints back, gets the running back the ball so he can decide where to go. It's great if you've got a great big physical line that's just splattering people up front. If you're not splattering people, that back is dodging people in the background. I don't care how much Dan Marino dodged and tripped right there. That play didn't have a shot. 3 and out again for Miami. Wilmsmeyer hangs this one way up. Coleman will let it go. And that goes into the end zone for a touchback. A 54-yard punt. Zip on the return. 12:45 to go first half. We remain scoreless in Miami. Time down here. 1996 in the Monday night game. Bettis had a huge game then. He's having a modest game so far. Richard Huntley is in the backfield. Cordell Stewart fires it out, and it's knocked backwards by Jason Taylor. If there's 2 guys that embody this new defense in Miami, to me, it's Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas. Zach Thomas can run forever and get guys, and Jason Taylor is so physical. You forget, this guy is 6'6". Watch him at the top of the screen, right at the right side. Is that a great pass rush? No. He knows he can't get there. He makes himself an obstacle, and he plays power forward and knocks that pass out of the sky. I mean, I like this defense. They haven't had a defense like this in a lot of years.
2nd and 10. That's Huntley who sets up to the left. Stewart with a short set up and overthrows his intended receiver Courtney Hawkins, which brings up a 3rd down and 10. Now, for more on the NFL, let's go back to New York. Here's Jim Nantz.
Well, Vern and Randy, they're playing in a downpour out in Kansas City. Watch Rich Gannon here. Almost loses his footing, gets back on his feet. He'll sling it sidearm to Andre Rison for the touchdown, and the Chiefs are in front 16-zip. Back to you in Miami.
All right, Jimmy, an early season meeting between San Diego with a big start.
Welcome to reality, Ryan Leaf and Kevin Gilbride.
3rd and 10, 4 wide receivers. Stewart has missed his last 4. Stunts in the blitz. Here comes Stewart. Goes deep left side, and it's tipped incomplete. The rush got there. And Sam Madison celebrates.
Folks, if this is the first time you've seen the Miami Dolphins this year, this is a defensive football team. This is a defense that plays fast. This is a defense that has the attitude. You see Wilson coming out of the nickelback position along with Trace Armstrong to get after Cordell Stewart. This team's season rests on this defense being able to keep playing like this.
Cordell Stewart now 3 of 10 for 3 yards. Charles Jordan waits for the punt. Fair catch called by Jordan. Grabs it at the 37-yard line. 44-yard punt for Josh Miller. 12:20 to go first half. Dolphins now try and find some offense.
Watch Brock Marion come in this way and see how close he comes to blocking this Josh Miller punt. Look at those hands. Just come and brush the ball. If he lays out, he's got him. But if he lays out and misses the ball, he's going to splatter Josh Miller, and it's going to be a penalty.
Miami gets it back. They've got it at the 36-yard line, and John Avery has come in at tailback now. The 5'9", 190-pound #1 draft pick out of Ole Miss. Marino throws it and completes it. Arande Gadsden with a 13-yard gain. Right now, let's check in with Michelle Tafoya.
Well, Vern, when Arande Gadsden was promoted to the starting wide receiver spot last week, one of the toughest things he had to deal with was the reaction of the player he replaced, Charles Jordan, who took his demotion quite hard. Gadsden told me he felt for Jordan and understood the competitive nature of his response. He said things have smoothed out, and Jordan has actually become a tutor to him this week, helping him on the field. Back upstairs to you.
All right, Michelle, 1st down 10. It comes to blitz, and John Avery tests the middle of Pittsburgh defense and gets across the 50 to the 49. Carlos Emmons makes the tackle. Next Saturday on CBS Sports, a NASDAQ college football doubleheader. In the first game, Heisman hopeful Cade McNown leads the UCLA Bruins against the Miami Hurricanes. And in the nightcap, Tim Couch challenges Steve Spurrier's attack defense when the Kentucky Wildcats tangle with the Florida Gators. How good was the game last night?
I want to see those UCLA Bruins, especially after they just slapped Jim Nance's Houston Cougars all over the field last night.
We're talking Florida, Tennessee here, Randy.
Oh, that was a great game, but I'm an alum here.
That one incomplete. No, it's caught. O.J. McDuffie in front of Dwayne Washington, a gain of 15 yards. Tipped it, caught it.
Well, just because they can't beat Dwayne Washington early deep doesn't mean they're not going to try to get after the cornerback for the Pittsburgh Steelers here early. Look at that. That's good coverage. That's a good pass. That's unbelievable concentration by O.J. McDuffie. All 3 of those catches were wonderful.
Yeah, he made a catch across the middle last week when he got popped and held on. It was magnificent. Here's Avery, bounces off his own man, James Brown, and then Levon Kirkland says, "I'll give you a nightmare."
Well, it's also the difference between a 250-pound back in Jerome Bettis and a 180-something-pound back in John Avery. They bounce off guys like that. I mean, normal-sized backs, and this young guy is fast, and he can play every down, I think, but bang. He runs into the big fella, James Brown, 76, and got a little extra momentum from Steed and Orpheus Roy in the general area, and he just can't recover.
Well, he was telling us yesterday he got nightmares looking at Levon Kirkland on tape.
They were all over his backfield.
Here's Marino. Goes deep left. Man is open. O.J. McDuffie. in front of Dwayne Washington. That's a gain of 13.
Well, once again, Dwayne Washington doing a nice job of keeping things in front of him. Carnell Lake talked about, you got to keep things in front of you sometimes. And O.J. McDuffie comes out and never gets anywhere near in back of Dwayne Washington. He fills up. He makes the play. That's what he's supposed to do. But he likes this O.J. McDuffie, and I think a lot of that, this percentage, how many times he's gone to him, that's because O.J. McDuffie fights to get open.
3rd and 2, Miami, scoreless game, 9 to go first half. Marino with time across the middle has the first down, plus Lamar Thomas, who had a touchdown catch last week, gets a first down grab of 10 yards here.
It continues to amaze me that Lamar Thomas can run hard after he catches the ball, because when I was growing up, I drew stick men bigger than this guy. He doesn't even cast a shadow when he runs. He's so skinny. And when they hit him, he just keeps spinning and he moves. 175 pounds. He must have had weights in his shoes when they weighed him.
John Avery comes out. Jabbar is back in the lineup. This is the second time Miami's been inside the 25. First was on their second drive. Red zone defense has been exemplary thus far this season, and there's motion on the right side from Kevin Donnelly. Perhaps the most important offseason free agent acquisition.
False start, number 65. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
You notice in this part of the field, offensive linemen rarely make that mistake going backwards. That's because Donnelly's got himself a run. Jimmy Johnson's going to let his football team just blast this ball. It's their new commitment. It's their new emphasis. And Kevin Donnelly got about 300 pounds going forward. 5 pounds of his 305. Remember what the snap count was. The other 300 pounds was gone.
Jimmy Johnson talking about penalties. That is only the 4th offensive penalty against the Dolphins this season. And it has held them in good stead. Here's the handoff to Jabbar. Got a little room to run. Dances inside the 15. An 8-yard pickup for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. 7:39 to go in the first half of play.
Kippy Brown made the point that if anybody's going to come free, they got to come around the backside. And the Miami Dolphins offensive coordinator says, look, we'll go left in this case. We're going to match up helmet on helmet. We're going to have to free up somebody. So we free up on the backside away from the ball and make the defender make a really good play, in this case, Carnell Lake.
2nd down and 7. Pittsburgh coming with the blitz. Marino, timing pattern, right side. Catch is made by Aronde Gadsden.
Aronde had very few quarterbacks that have thrown the ball to him in the last 23 weeks, folks. 23 games in a row that have thrown the ball like Dan Marino there. He was nowhere near getting out of his break when Dan Marino put that ball in the air to him. And the ball was about 10 feet away when he snaps his head around for the ball. Watch Marino and watch Gadsden at the very top. Ball in the air, head hasn't turned, back is still turned. Turn around and go, whoops.
3rd and 2 at the 9. Gadsden sets up wide to the right side. Thomas, McDuffie to the left. Here's Jabbar. Inside the 5 to the 4. 1st and goal, Miami. 6.5 remaining before the break.
You know, these fans can still remember that boring football used to win this team championships. Shula's early 70s Dolphins were boring. Jabbar getting 47 yards and 10 carries isn't exciting. It's a little bit boring, but when you need a first down and you get the mindset of your offensive line down at this part of the field is that they can come off the ball and punch you in the mouth and get your touchdown, that's when you start getting excited about your offensive line. You're already excited about the defense. What can the offense do for Miami?
Marino has to burn a 2nd timeout for the Dolphins. On 1st and goal, the play clock winds down, and he's got to come to the sideline. 10th play of the drive. Now, in the back of your mind, keep in mind Miami now has only 1 timeout remaining in the half. Coming up at the NASDAQ halftime report, 5:57 from now, Jim Nantz, Marcus Allen, Brent Jones, and George Seifert for all the scores and highlights of Week 3. And Phil Simms and Greg Gumbel will preview the Broncos-Raiders matchup that most of you around the country will see as the second half of our doubleheader. Denver at Oakland, and some of you will see Baltimore at Jacksonville. Now you're watching Pittsburgh, Miami. The Dolphins 1st and goal inside the 5 in a scoreless first half. Marino Jabbar has to change direction behind the line because of excellent penetration defensively. Earl Holmes finally completed the job.
Well, that was by Levon Kirkland. He read that play absolutely right. Just filled up when he saw the offensive lineman, in this case Donnelly, in front of him, go away and just fills an empty hole. Penetration kills offensive plays, but you gotta like the Dolphins being aggressive and the Steelers defense getting the attitude. This is a defense with a lot of pride. Right now they're saying you can't punch it in on us.
McDuffie, the lone wide receiver, he is to the right side. Marino gets it to Jabbar, touchdown. He had 11 his rookie season. He scored 15 on the ground last year, and he's got his second of 1997 on this run.
What a nice job. Another one of the sprint outs by Dan Marino. Barely gets Jabbar the ball, but what does that do? It delays the defense, it spreads the defense, and by the time Jabbar gets to the line of scrimmage, there's a gaping hole for him to easily score. That's attitude against pride, and attitude won that one on the Dolphins side.
That old Miami ball control offense, huh? Alinda Mare hammers home the extra point. 11 plays, 64 yards. They chewed 7 minutes and 8 seconds off the clock. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar gets the touchdown from 3 yards out.
Well, they spread them out. Watch the defense. Levon Kirkland's in front of you. See them spread, and when they spread, that sets up trouble. That gets Pritchard, the fullback, gets up, gets a nice lead block. Mark Dixon, the young guy, the offensive left guard, ex-Canadian, gets in a nice block, and that gets the Dolphins a touchdown.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 26 touchdowns now. 2 games, 2 seasons, and 3 games. Earl Campbell, the leader after 2 seasons of 32, followed by, or tied with Dickerson, Curtis Martin, and Barry Sanders.
And they treat this guy who led this scoring drive, you know, he's got the job security of a kicker in Miami. Every year the fans and the media says, okay, who's going to be your running back? Last year he scores 15 touchdowns. He's around 1,000 yards. You know, what's he do badly? He does what comes natural for him. He's not a game breaker. Cordell Stewart today, we talked about what comes natural. It's been a little struggle for Cordell, what comes natural.
Murray with a kick. Blackwell 6 yards into the end zone, touchback. And a struggling Cordell Stewart will come back into the cockpit for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I say struggling, underlined by the 3 Steeler passing yards thus far.
Well, what really has to concern Bill Cowher, too, is the running game has been very inconsistent for the Steelers. And if they're not consistent on the ground, that doesn't set up the passing game.
Cordell Stewart, 3 of 10 for only 3 yards. He's missed his last 5. 5:05 to go first half. Dolphins up by 7. Stewart will throw on first down. Deep left side into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Sam Madison. Madison looks for blocking help. Jukes the man, and will take this one toward the stands. Now watch the celebration.
Does Cordell Stewart throw this ball? Hawkins is covered deep by Marion, short by Madison. And you know who it is that Madison jukes out here at the end of his run? Jerome Bettis. Put a little wiggle on the big guy and put him on the ground. Then he smartly heads out of bounds because Dermontti Dawson and the O-line's coming after him.
First pick of the season for Sam Madison. 1st and 10 at the 25 for the Miami Dolphins. Blitz coming. Marino into the flat. Caught by Jabbar. And he picks up 7.
Now that is the difference between a young quarterback trying to force something and an older quarterback taking what you're going to get. Look at the blitz come here and watch Marino's head. Watch his actions. Is he panicking? Is he worried? He's got Flowers coming free. No worry. You're going to give me a blitz. You're going to give me a stunt. I dump the ball out to my back and I let him run one-on-one, and he wins all those one-on-ones for the first 10 yards.
Marino's number is now above average, 10 of 15 for 89 yards. Play fake this time. And he fires it into the ground as he comes back across the body.
Now I'm talking about what comes natural.
Yes. That's
wishbone option quarterback or not the first couple terms. Look at Dan kind of smile. What am I doing out there running? I mean, it's nice to get up and set up there every once in a while, but when he's got guys steaming on his backside and he's trying to run outright, not what you call high percentage.
Dolphins almost double the time of possession.
Boring, yes.
Yes.
Is it exciting? The air's full of balls and all that? No. Dolphins had a pretty good season back in '72, being boring and controlling the football game with the defense.
On 3rd down, Marino goes back to his right. Oh, he threads a needle. He finds Gadsden, beg your pardon, a 9-yard pickup. Oronde Gadsden. Get used to it, folks, and I will too.
Well, rolling right is not what comes natural from Marino. Threading a ball like this is what's absolutely natural. Remember I mentioned earlier that Dan Marino can throw the ball to body parts. This ball is thrown to a body part of his receiver and nowhere near the defensive back. In this case, the young guy Simmons, 23.
And a Pittsburgh player down. Excuse me, Randy.
Gadsden's got to look at these passes and just say, this is fun. I mean, this is almost like playing a video game where you plan your own offense and you dream about a guy throwing you passes if you're a receiver.
There's the injured player for the Steelers. No ID yet. Gadsden, one of the feel-good stories of the year, had those 14 games in Arena Bowl with Portland. Prior to that, 3 with Franklin in the World League. Was actually in the Pittsburgh Steeler camp a year ago. Cut right before the roster cut down.
Take a look at what happened there. Remember, Simmons, 23, is a defensive back working in there. We've got Perry, number 39, the safety, filling up and making the tackle. Perry wincing after that contact.
Well, while we check on the injury, let's let you know about a new program coming up on CBS. When it comes to comedy, he rules. Kevin James will star in the show the TV Guide picked as one of its all-time fall favorites. And it's got Jerry Stiller, the King of Queens, premieres tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, right after Cosby on CBS.
Jerry Stiller looks like the nightmare in-law. Let's take a look at Darren Perry. Made that great play. Remember, Darren Perry is the guy that stripped the ball out of Jabbar's hands earlier in the game and caused that fumble for Bill Cowher's defense. And that's just a case right there where he filled up to hit a big wide receiver in Gadsden, and he took the worst of the effort. He took the worst of the contact.
Perry on the Pittsburgh bench with 3:43 to go before the break. You look at Earl Holmes and he looks at Dan Marino. 1st down and goal. Left side. Jabbar can't quite shake the tackle of Lethan Flowers, who's going to go taunt the crowd again.
Sometimes for a running back, you see something happening and running out of the dirt infield is one thing, but a running back sees an opening, he knows he can get there, but right about now it seems like you're almost running in sand. You know, your feet, they're your feet, but they're not moving like you're telling your feet to move. You're telling your feet, I can get the corner. And Flowers in the defense is saying, you ain't getting the corner.
2nd down, under 3 to go. Dolphins lead it 7-0. O.J. McDuffie starts in motion. Fade route, tipped away in the corner.
Exactly what Dan Marino told us when we talked to him. Sometimes I'm going to have to throw a pass that's not of my nature. I've got to just sort of put it up and let Gadsden go get it. But his assignment, the receiver's assignment here, is twofold. One is to go get it. Two is to be sure if you don't get it, make sure nobody else does. He just gets a finger on it and sort of knocks it away when he does, to be sure that the defender, Washington in this case, can't get that pass. But that is not a Dan Marino staple. He's not comfortable throwing that pass.
And after the incompletion, 3rd and goal. Dolphins 50% on 3rd down thus far. And Marino goes left. Oh boy, Washington had the interception. Instead it goes to Lamar Thomas. Right through the hands of the cornerback. And into the hands of Lamar Thomas.
Danny boy, you got away with one here. Right through the cornerback's hands. I mean, if I'm Dan Marino and I throw that pass, I'm heading to the sideline hoping I can slow the guy down as he tries to take it back the other way about 100 yards.
Second week in a row that Washington has given up a touchdown. For Miami, second week in a row that Marino and Lamar Thomas have hooked up on a TD. And the Dolphins go up 14-zip on the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, Dan says sometimes you got to put it up to my receivers and let them go get it. Little did he know that the defensive backs had cooperated and let him have it.
Now Lamar Thomas is going to follow Sam Madison. And well, he's got great taste.
At $500 a shot, why you throw him in the sands? I don't know about that, but look at Dwayne Washington. Off the thumbs, over the head. Christmas comes early for Lamar Thomas. That was a gift.
That scoring drive, and of course it was all set up by the Sam Madison interception of Cordell Stewart's pass. 24 yards in 6 plays. And 2:39 to go before the break. Pittsburgh showing no signs of life offensively, needs some kind of spark.
Never declare the Pittsburgh Steelers offense dead. People have made that mistake in the past and watched them come steaming by them.
Murray will kick off. Will Blackwell, number 89, is one of those deep. At the goal line. Out to the 20. Hey kids, now there's an NFL website just for you. Learn about your favorite team and get photos of your favorite players in the NFL Kids Zone, only on CBSSportsline.com. Lamar Thomas, 2 touchdowns in 2 weeks.
Well, now if you're watching this game saying, gee, what happens to the Pittsburgh Steelers offense? What's going on here? Remember what this Miami Dolphins defense has been doing to Cordell Stewart in this offense. They have been all over him.
Out of the shotgun, he hands it off to Fred McAfee, who gets his first carry of the 1998 season. McAfee with a draw play out to the 25.
You call a play like that with, not quite 2 minutes left in this half. You're trying to catch an attacking defense off guard.
2nd and 3. Steelers do have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Stewart, that one caught, but immediate contact made at the 25-yard line by Patrick Surtain, rookie out of Southern Mississippi. We've reached the 2-minute warning. Dolphins up 14-zip. And the Steelers trail by 14 with 1:59 to go.
Well, kind of the trials and tribulations of Cordell Stewart today. It's twofold. One, he's getting pressure. And number 2, he doesn't have a receiver that's breaking open. He hasn't had a receiver in the last 10 passes that have had a chance to really get the ball. Miami's doing a great job of pressuring Stewart and covering his receivers.
3 of whom line up wide to the left, and Hines Ward He is to the right side. Cordell Stewart will run. And he gets enough for the first down, hauled out of bounds by Jason Taylor. A 14-yard gain for Cordell Stewart.
That is a nice play call. You see the 3 receivers over to Cordell Stewart's left from the get-go. That is a run, folks. That is pure quarterback run right. That's not even a quarterback draw, because there was never a hesitation or another thought besides getting that first down for Cordell Stewart. And 1:51 left. This is plenty of time for this offense.
He also saved time on the clock by getting out of bounds. They still have their full complement of 3 timeouts. 4-man rush for the Dolphins. They stunt. They get to Stewart. He lets it go behind Charles Johnson and was under pressure and is limping a little bit.
Well, he's very lucky he let that ball go, because Trace Armstrong was just about to turn him into a speed bump.
Armstrong had 2 of the 8 sacks last week. NASDAQ halftime report. Jim, Marcus, Brent Jones, and George Seifert. Scores and highlights and a preview of the second game of our doubleheader, Denver and Oakland, coming up after this one's in the books.
Well, Brent Jones said earlier today in the show that he liked the Dolphins because he thought the Dolphins would create the most mistakes and could take advantage of them, but they've just played better flat football than Pittsburgh this first half.
4-man rush again. Stewart stays in the pocket and fires it a little in front of and over the head of Charles Johnson, and Trace Armstrong got back there again.
Well, remember the last play I said if he doesn't get rid of it when he does, that Trace Armstrong's going to turn him into a speed bump? Well, he's about to become maybe not a complete speed bump, but a pretty good size one as Armstrong gets rid of Strelzik. And just as he gets rid of it, he knocks him down. That's marginal. That is borderline penalty for a D lineman to hit a quarterback after he releases it. But Cordell's had a tough day. They are getting some shots on him.
3rd and 10. Blitz coming. Armstrong got there as Stewart lets it go incomplete. And Stewart gets some assistance to his feet. Trace Armstrong.
It's Trace Armstrong right there, bottom of the screen. Watch him working against Strelzik, the right tackle, 73. Strelzik sees the blitz and goes to the outside. One of the linemen's creeds is you never let a guy inside go to take somebody outside. That's a mistake. You do not let somebody free on your inside shoulder on your quarterback, because he gets smacked just like Trace Armstrong got Cordell Stewart there. Of course, Trace got up a lot slower than Cordell did it, but that's no consolation for Bill Cowher and his football team. They are being cleanly outplayed by the Miami Dolphins in all facets right now.
Now time called on the field. And Jimmy Johnson parades the sidelines. And we're told that the timeout charged to Miami because of the Trace Armstrong injury. A little slow getting off.
But Vern, 1 minute and 35 seconds left. Dan Marino and the Dolphins are going to get the ball back. I don't care if there's no timeouts. I don't care if there's 1 timeout. You just give them the ball with 1.5 minutes, and you're looking at a chance of giving up points. Do not relax if you're the Pittsburgh defense. If you do, you're going to be in a really big hole.
Josh Miller on to punt on 4th and 10. Charles Jordan waits at the 15-yard line. Little pressure applied from Brock Marion. And this one downed inside the 10 at the 9. 52-yard punt, nothing on the return. This, of course, the first game of a doubleheader for you on CBS this afternoon. And when this one's over, most of you will watch the Denver Broncos go into the Bay Area and take on the Oakland Raiders. Others will see the Baltimore-Jacksonville encounter.
Right now, after 2 weeks, which isn't much, but right now the best teams in football are Denver, Green Bay, and San Francisco, which is not a huge change from what we saw at the end of the year last year. But boy, those teams have really got it clicking and going on, especially Denver with that running game with Terrell Davis.
How about Seattle? You like what they've done so far?
Seattle's one of those teams that, you know, they're going to have to be sort of everybody in the league's got to be a Missouri resident.
Yep.
They're going to have to show us, you know, because they've disappointed a lot of people too often. But there's no disappointment in that Denver team, and so far for this football team at Dan Marino's been very, very little disappointment today.
14-zip. Miami with only no timeouts remaining. Beg your pardon. They have burned them all. course, when they were charged with the Trace Armstrong injury. And it looks like they will go the conservative route here before we go to the break. Jimmy Johnson, his 3rd season here.
Pittsburgh calls a timeout there to stop the clock. If they're going to run it out, they're going to say, fine, maybe we can get the ball back.
Well, it gives us a chance to talk about another show coming up on CBS. Everybody wonder why everybody loves Raymond. Well, Entertainment Weekly has the answer. They've called it a darn near perfect sitcom. And they've called it a laugh-a-minute funny. Find out yourself when the new season of Raymond begins tomorrow at 9 o'clock, 8 Central on CBS. Marino has chatted with Jimmy Johnson and heads back toward the huddle.
Yeah, this is no time for either football team really to relax and sort of play let's go in and give up. Miami can't do it because that'll give Bill Cowher's football team the ball back with some time left on the clock. And Pittsburgh can't relax around Dan Marino right now on these receivers because they've got luck on their side.
Blitz from Earl Holmes, the handoff outside the 11-yard line. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on 2nd down and 8. And Carlos Emmons makes the tackle, number 51. Steelers use their 2nd timeout. They've got 1 left with 1:11 to go before the break.
One thing that's going on right now for the Pittsburgh Steelers is their assistant coaches are going to start heading down to the locker room. And the most important time of this day for the Pittsburgh Steelers is going to be the time they spend at halftime making their adjustments because they have got something to dig out of.
$1:11 to go. And a 14-0 lead. You surprised by this Pittsburgh offense so far?
I'm surprised by how close the defenders are for Miami. I thought these receivers as a group could get more space between themselves and their defender because Cordell Stewart, besides not having some very good passes, has really had nothing to do with those receivers.
Jabbar tries to get it outside. He does manage to get to the 20. Clock will continue to run as LeVon Kirkland makes the tackle.
But one thing we've seen out of this offense today, Vern, is, or not today, but so far this year, is they may not make all the plays, but they seem to make the plays they have to. You know, Cordell Stewart might throw some terrible passes, but if he needs 2 big completions, he makes them, and 2 touchdowns is nothing against this offense. Cordell Stewart can score 2 from by himself just running the ball.
Jabbar manages to pick up a 1st down just inside the 20, but that's a fresh set of downs with 56 seconds to go. And a conversion for Marino on the Miami offense on 3rd and 7. Cordell Stewart.
Well, for Cordell and the Pittsburgh Steelers in general, there's been nothing natural about what's happened in the first 30 minutes of this ball game. For Jimmy Johnson and his quarterback Dan Marino and the entire Dolphin team, this is how you draw it up. When you put together a game plan, you want to disrupt the quarterback, you want to bust this physical defense, and you want to make the clutch catches, and they've done it all in this first half. The challenge is to keep it going for Jimmy Johnson and for Bill Cowher's staff to get in the locker room right now, settle down their young quarterback, and get this thing back together.
End of the first half with the score, Miami 14 and Pittsburgh nothing. Coming up on the NASDAQ halftime report, Jim Nantz, Marcus Allen, Brent Jones, and George Seifert will get you caught up on all the latest NFL news. 14-0 our score. We'll be back for the NASDAQ halftime report in New York after these messages. Bet they live right now, Randy. They're up 14-7.
This has been an absolute stink-a-thon for the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. They have got 1 first down, and it looked very ineffective. But we have to look on the other side. You know, Brent Jones was absolutely right at halftime there. How about this Miami Dolphin defense? They are really bringing it on, this offense, and making Cordell Stewart and them, I think, look very bad.
Well, total rushing yardage are fairly even, but look at the passing yardage. 106 to 3 for Pittsburgh.
And this is really how, Vern, I mean, how this whole thing got on is the fact that the Dolphins made plays. It sounds simple, but when you have to stretch out the defense and you have to make the play at the goal line, you find a way to do it. When you have the right coverage and the quarterback makes a bad pass, you have to get the interception. And when you need the luck, you got to get a little bit of that too and have the defensive back miss the interception.
Bill Cowher's team down 14-zip, and while we have a moment, let's spend some time with Michelle Tafoya.
All right, well, at halftime, Jimmy Johnson told me his team got off to a slow start because of lousy field position and, of course, that fumble. He said he intends for Dan Marino to take a few more shots down the field, but they will continue, of course, to run the football. As for Bill Cowher, he's not real happy with his team. He says his offense is still looking for a rhythm, and if they cannot convert on third down, they're never going to get it, guys.
All right, Michelle, thank you. Randy, I ran into Jack Ham at halftime, the all-pro former linebacker for the Steelers. He was bemoaning the same fact that you noted, that the Steelers don't have any receivers open.
If the Steelers offense was hooked up to a heart monitor right now, it'd be going, be a flat line. They got nothing going on. There's Jack Ham right here in the golf hat, Hall of Fame linebacker for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and here doing the game on radio, he does not mince words when it comes to his former team.
Kick from Mare way into the end zone. That'll be a touchback, and the Steelers will take over at their own 20-yard line. Well, Cordell Stewart said yesterday he always seems to play a little better in the second half than in the first.
Right, he's absolutely right. That is his strong point. His strong point is not the way he starts, it's how he finishes. Last year in the opener against the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore, he throws 3 interceptions. Is down 21-0 at the half, and they come back and win 42-34. And this gives you some idea of what's going on. And just look at this part of it. The heck with the, percentages or anything else. Look at the touchdown to interception ratio he turns around into the second half.
They had nothing going for them in the first half. Here comes the blitz from Miami. Handoff to try and beat the blitz. Instead, they lose a yard. Jerome Bettis. Daryl Gardner makes the tackle.
We looked about the Dolphins and how they made the plays and they had stuff going on. Well, there's nothing going on but pain for the quarterback and stuffed runs for Jerome Bettis in the running game, and just nothing going on. I mean, no matter what Ray Sherman calls upstairs, the offensive coordinator, this offense is not executing.
Now Steelers look at a second down, 11. Charles Johnson is in motion. This time a 4-man rush. The pass into the flat for Johnson. He picks up yardage to the 23. Terrell Buckley and Sam Madison combine on the tackle, and that brings up another third down.
I think this is very important. What you just saw Pittsburgh do is get Cordell Stewart outside. Get him out of the pocket. Give him a different look, because obviously the view from straight behind the line hasn't been very good for him. Get him outside and let him move the ball. That does 2 things. It stretches the defense a little bit, and it also is an implied threat that Cordell Stewart's going to run the ball.
The rookie Hines Ward, number 86, is one of those on the field for Pittsburgh now on 3rd and 6. That's him in motion. Stewart has the pass to Hines Ward, and that's a first down. Pittsburgh at the 41-yard line. A gain of 15.
Remember, we told you earlier that Bill Cowher says, hey, look, it's only September. I don't want to show all my stuff. Well, Hines Ward, 86, right here cutting into the middle of your screen, is going to be a big part of the stuff for the Pittsburgh Steelers down the road here. You've got Hines Ward, you've got Cordell Stewart, you've got Richard Huntley, you have Maafala. There's a lot of weapons. They just got to get the pace going and the rhythm.
Hand off to Bettis on 1st and 10 after the 15-yard gain. And Jerome Bettis finding it very tough to run against this Dolphin defense.
Yeah, there's 2 things that just don't go together. It's just an oxymoron, it seems, to hear physical Dolphins. But the Dolphin defense is being physical, and Jerome Bettis would tell you that right now, because Zach Thomas and his defense are being very, very physical against a team that is noted as one of the most physical in the league.
2nd and 8. Here's Bettis going left and crossing the 45 out to the 47-yard line.
You know, in week 1, the Baltimore Ravens wanted to find out how tough they were, how physical they were, and they measured themselves against the Steelers. They were tougher and more physical than the Steelers. They just made too many dumb mistakes, and Bill Cowher's football team won the game. Last week, Chicago was very, very physical with the Steelers, maybe more so, but they found a way to make more plays. Can they find a way to make the plays in the 3rd week in a row being out physical?
3rd and 5. Four-man rush delayed, and the pass into the flat, incomplete. Little slant pattern to Andre Coleman. It'll be fourth down. Sam Madison.
Go ahead and give yourself a hand. It looks kind of dumb, but go ahead and give yourself a hand. That is a nice defensive play. Just when Cordell Stewart and Charlie Johnson are trying to make that play, be that little spark, come up, whack, knock it down. Not this time, not us.
Josh Miller on to punt for the 6th time. Charles Jordan waits at the 10. Rodenhauser snaps it back. On the run, here's Jordan. Gets by Dante Jones, gets by one more Steeler, and counter punches all the way out to the 45, 42-yard line. A Pittsburgh player, it is Miller, is down. We'll take a break and tend to his injury when we return. Josh Miller slowly makes his way to the Pittsburgh sideline. He got hammered by his own man, Chris Oldham, Randy.
Well, watch Oldham's back, actually, as he's working here, right in this area right here. He's working against Brigance. Actually, Derek Rogers, look at his leg. Tweaks in there, and he actually rolls into the, as the leg is planted there. The right leg is planted of Josh Miller. That's where that injury came in. And got to assume Norm Johnson's up next as a punter. Miller can't go.
First down, Miami with a 14-0 lead. Their first possession, second half. Blitz comes from Carlos Emmons. That pass complete across the 50. In the hands of Charles Jordan. Dwayne Washington, number 20, was defending.
I made the mention earlier of Dolphins football in the early 70s being tough, aggressive defense, kind of boring running the ball and high percentage passing. And you know, Dan Marino right now is going to have an opportunity to run the ball hard and use this high percentage passing type game to eat up the clock. Be very aware of what Dan Marino is doing with the play clock. He is going to let this play clock go all the way down in the low single digits every time. It's another form of a veteran running off time.
This time the snap comes with 3 seconds left, and Jabbar picks up a first down. Miami at the Pittsburgh 45. Earl Holmes, number 50, defending for the Steelers. Norm Johnson warms up, not as a place kicker, but as a punter into the net on the far side.
His first inclination might be to drop kick it.
Second inclination might be the laying on of hands on Josh Miller's knee.
Yeah, he didn't look real excited about having to do that.
I don't think so. First and 10. Jabbar starts back to his right and loses a yard. Orpheus Roy, number 71, who starts in place of Nolan Harrison today, and number 50, Earl Holmes, with the tackle.
And once again, we've seen this spurt of penetration. You know, suddenly there's somebody in the Pittsburgh defense is in the defensive backfield, offensive backfield, making Jabbar, you know, run around and make him miss, and he loses a yard, he loses 2 yards. The defense has not played bad, but consistently they have to play better to create a play, because, you know, Jabbar is going to hammer you like that. A Jabbar game is he's got 27 carries, he's got 98 to 103 yards, and you lose.
Second and 11, Jabbar from Marino. Double coverage. Carlos Emmons is the first one there, number 51. And it'll be a third down forthcoming from Miami. Right now, let's go back to Jim Nantz in New York.
Well, Vern, there were no touchdowns in the first half, but the Oilers came out of the locker room. Eddie George caught a 22-yard touchdown, but back come the Patriots. Their first-round pick from Georgia, Robert Edwards, from 7 yards out. All square in the third quarter. Let's go back to you.
Well, you've got to believe, Randy, that the Oilers and the Patriots are going to be two good teams throughout the year.
Especially on offense, the Oilers with the weapons they have with Eddie George, and Yancey Thigpen used to be at Pittsburgh, and McNair at quarterback. They're not going to stay quiet long, because they were absolutely quiet last week.
Here's Marino out of the shotgun. The blitz coming from Kirkland, and he got him. Number 99 came barreling through left guard and took a clean shot. It'll be fourth down.
Now, I dare anybody to tell me that a semi-truck cannot negotiate a hairpin turn, because 99's a semi-truck. There's a hairpin turn he had to take that left to get to Marino, and that was no problem. He barely even used any tread off his tires, and He did get a little reaction out of Marino there in that sack. He wasn't happy.
First sack for the Steelers today. Third time this season that Dan Marino has gone down. Andre Coleman takes the punt from Klaus Wilmsmeyer. Steelers have the ball back at their own 15. Somehow that guy doesn't seem bothered either by this football game or the pending arrival of Hurricane George.
Well, it's going to sound like Hurricane Fort Lauderdale here at Pro Player. This crowd's going nuts.
Stewart, handoff Bettis. The bus. Stopped for a loss. Zach Thomas, number 54.
Wow. I've thought for a long time with Zach Thomas, if you got him running straight at you, you're all right. But if you got Zach Thomas running sideways and you got him scraping off the corners of a defense, he can absolutely kill you. And it's exactly how he got into that play. Came right off the back of his defenders, and Bettis just got stoned.
Second and 11. Stewart comes across the middle, intercepted by Zach Thomas. Touchdown. My. Murray with the extra point. Cordell Stewart throws another pick. Zach Thomas out most of last year with a broken leg. Gets a TD for...
There's Zach Thomas resting on the sideline, and boy, has he made some big plays. That series was Zach Thomas for 6 points, a big tackle, a big pick, and a touchdown.
Blackwell for Pittsburgh. Everything is rolling Miami's way. Bernie Parmalee makes the tackle.
Noise has an effect. Watch Zach Thomas. Watch Cordell Stewart. Thomas never moves. Stewart follows his receiver, Hawkins. Thomas steps in front. This offense has been stuffed. It's been frustrated. It's been abused. This is a great defensive effort. I know it's week 3, but this is a great defensive effort.
Deep, got a man open, Charles Johnson. Across the 50, down at the 47. 35-yard gain, and for the moment, the crowd is quieted.
Me and my big mouth. That's about the time you say great defensive effort. What do they do down the field? Charles Johnson just cleanly beating Walker. Marion can't get over there in time to help. That's exactly the kind of play. The heck with the Steelers. The heck with Charles Johnson, who makes a nice catch. Cordell Stewart needed that play.
Calvin Jackson with the stop. Hand off to Jerome Bettis. Inside the 45, 43-yard line, Derek Rogers makes the tackle, number 59.
We're going to find out right now about that pride I talked about earlier, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Because Jerome Bettis just ran all over the Chicago Bears last week. And he's got 36 yards because he's gotten a couple of runs that have popped pretty good. Most of the time, he's been staring at a lot of Dolphins, smacking them.
2nd and 6. Fake the reverse to Johnson. They've got Huntley open, and Stewart overthrows him. Had to get it way up in the air to lob it in properly And it doesn't get there.
The ball is going to start getting wet because the rain once again is starting to just come down in sheets here. So you got to be very aware of what's going on with the football if you're Bill Cowher's center and quarterback.
Oh, you want to see a definition of people flocking? That's what they're doing. 3rd and 6. Blitz. Stewart incomplete. Intended for Hines Ward. Flag comes from the far side of the field. Might get a call on Brian Walker.
Walker had a little bit of a hold. Nah, not a little bit. He had a lot of bit of a hold. He grabbed him.
Pass interference. Number 45, defense. Automatic first down.
Look at that rain coming down. Think it isn't hard to grab this football? The job Cordell Stewart, he delivers the ball quickly, delivers it on time, and delivers it to his receiver who's being yanked from the back by Walker.
There's Hines Ward trying to get position, and a first down. Here's the handoff to Bettis, right up the middle, and he rumbles inside the 25. That could be enough to move. It will be enough to move the chain. That's an 11-yard pickup.
You know, a good sign right there is Jerome Bettis made that run, and Jerome Bettis dropped the ball, got up, and went back to the huddle. There was none of that dancing. There was none of that, you know, strutting and saying, hey, look, wasn't that a great run? He realizes the situation his football team is in.
Official timeout call. They need a dry football. Well, the forecast call for isolated thunder showers. We are no longer alone.
Or isolated.
21-0.
Be very aware of how quickly you've seen Pittsburgh go down the field. And, you know, see, if the ball was just put down, 3 seconds. It's absolutely soaked. Because the center's going to turn it over to the wet side and then snap it into a wet quarterback's hand.
Jerome Bettis popped by Zach Thomas.
Zach Thomas doing a little mocking move of Jerome Bettis' post big run dance usually afterwards. Watch Zach Thomas come from the right side of your screen. And also Jason Taylor. Look at him come from the backside. 99. 1, 2, down. Defense.
2nd and 10 officially. Backs in the eye. Blitz coming. Good block pickup. Stewart sacked. Intentional grounding. Zach Thomas and friends.
I understand if they could call that he was marking the knee down as calling the play dead, but I don't think that was intentional grounding. Cordell Stewart was outside of the pocket. Now we'll have a conference here to be sure everybody has the same opinion.
Intentional grounding, number 10 on the offense. It'll be 3rd down at the spot of the pass.
Watch Zach Thomas come on the blitz. Great job of pickup by Jerome Bettis and Whitman inside. What happens? They fight right through it.
Well, Bill Cowher maintains for the moment a placid demeanor in the rainstorm. Chris Fomatu Mafala comes in, number 45.
I'll tell you, Stewart looked like he was outside the tight end when he tried to throw that ball away instead of getting sacked.
3rd and 22. Stewart, triple coverage, incomplete. Renee Stewart was back. Jerry Wilson was back. And the pass falls incomplete. Fourth down.
You can't kick a field goal in these conditions I don't care how strong Norm Johnson's leg is. This is a good decision by Bill Cowher. You've got to make something happen. You've got to get confidence into this young quarterback and this struggling offense. Here's the opportunity. You're already down 21-0.
4th and 22, Pittsburgh. Quick kick. When was the last time you saw that? A quick kick, a little pooch kick, and look how effective that is.
Bill Cowher had Cordell Stewart practicing that 2 years ago for the playoffs. The first time they've used it is today.
I'm going back a generation and thinking of Darrell Royal and Bill Bradley. And
NFL on CBS is sponsored by Snickers and by Advil.
35-yard punt by Cordell Stewart, and it comes to a stop at the 2-yard line. Now Dan Marino and the Dolphins up 21-0 in a driving rainstorm. Snap it on first down. Levon Kirkland makes the tackle on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Just a nice job. You're backed up. And if you're an offensive line, you're saying, I got to create room and I got to have space in my running back to be able to cut back. That's exactly what they do here on this play. Watch the crease that develops like this on that side of the Dolphins offensive line. That's the left side with Mark Dixon, Richmond Webb. They've got the cutback. Jabbar sees it and he takes it. That is huge down there backed up at the goal line. This gives Dan Marino and this offense some breathing space.
2nd down and 4. Jabbar this time caught and dropped by Jason Gilden, number 92. College football doubleheader for you next Saturday on CBS. A NASDAQ college football doubleheader. First game, Cade McNown leads the UCLA Bruins against Miami. They lost in overtime here last night. And in the nightcap, Tim Couch challenges Steve Spurrier's attack defense when the Kentucky Wildcats tangle with the Florida Gators. You don't see that look very often from Jimmy Johnson.
What, Jimmy with wet hair or not smiling?
The wet hair is what I had in mind. 3rd and 6. Imagine how he'd be if they were down 21-0. And there's a rather conservative call. And
those last 2 plays are nothing to get Jimmy Johnson smiling. The first run by Jabbar was very, very nice. But here's the perfect situation now for Bill Cowher's football team. You've pinned them back. You've held them back. Now you're going to get field position for your quarterback. And look, you're just under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. You've got so much time left, and there's no panic in this Steeler football team.
Andre Coleman waits for the punt at the 45-yard line. Wilmsmeyer, nice high punt. From the 41, here's Andre Coleman looking for the outside, and a fine downfield tackle made by Nate Jaquette, 2nd-year man from San Diego State. 53 on the home. Infield will be covered. A little sloppy right now. Here's Stewart from the 35 into the flat. John Whitman and Zach Thomas again. Whitman with the grab.
Tell you, Zach Thomas, last time the Pittsburgh Steelers got in that situation down by the goal line, what's he do? He scrapes and he just stuffs Jerome Bettis. Next play, steps in front of Cordell Stewart's pass, takes it in for a touchdown to put his team up 21-0. Makes the big play on the run, makes the big play on the blitz, and last play makes another huge play. What a day for the young guy out of Texas Tech.
Charles Johnson starts in motion left side. Stewart gets protection. Buckley in a tussle with Blackwell over here, and the pass goes incomplete. Terrell Buckley.
You know, normally you'd say weather like this and crummy field position would really go with the team that could pass or could run defense the best. Miami is stuffing the pass game. They're stuffing the running game, and that's what you don't expect against the Pittsburgh Steelers. You'd say, hey, it's muddy, it's crummy. Hey, Steelers will run the ball. Not today. I don't care how muddy and crummy it gets. This defense is playing too good right now to get gassed too bad.
3rd and 8 for the Steelers, down 21-0. Max blitz coming. Stewart, let's go. Man coverage. Deep left side. Johnson can't hang on. And another taunt from Sam Madison.
And another factor you've got to remember in this kind of weather, Miami is very used to this. Every afternoon for the last week or so, it has poured rain like this. So they know how to handle the football. They know what the football is going to do. They know what the field's going to do.
Josh Miller with a bad knee is back to punt for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Charles Jordan waits for it just shy of the 15-yard line. That's a dandy again. Touchback. And a flag down at the 47-yard line. 54-yard punt if it stands.
You're going to have motion, I think, working against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Josh is going to get a chance to do it again. John Zook has watched his punt team.
Illegal formation. 6 men on the line of scrimmage. That penalty is declined.
But watch Josh Miller kick this. Think the leg's not still bothering him a little bit? He's got a plan on that right leg to kick with the left leg. Just to his credit, he's not pulling up. I mean, he really hammered that one.
So Cowher's team goes on defense. Let's check in with Michelle Tafoya.
All right, well, Mark McGuire's hit another home run today, number 65. In 1995, Dan Marino's backup here in Miami was Mark McGuire's brother, Dan McGuire. But this past July, it was Mark McGuire who helped Marino out by signing a bat for Marino's son. I'll finish this story after the play, guys.
And we'll get back to you. First down and 10. Pittsburgh looks like they might be coming with the blitz. The handoff in the backfield. Jabbar, ankle tackled at the 26-yard line. Let's check in once again with Michelle.
Well, Marino's son Joey on his 9th birthday then got that signed bat by McGuire. Marino told me that Joey almost cried when he opened his gift. And then weeks later, when together they watched McGuire hit home run number 62, it was Marino who almost cried when Joey turned to him and said, "Dad, when my son turns 9, I'm going to give him that bat." Back up to you, Vern.
Thanks, Michelle. Dan said he got chill bumps when his son said that.
You know, Dan also called McGuire and said, I need you to sign a bat. McGuire says, no problem. When do you need it? He goes, well, my kid's birthday's tomorrow, so you need to FedEx it to me tonight.
Second down and 4. Out of the backfield and into the Dolphin bench, accompanied by flags. There are 2 of them.
It's going to be a double penalty. Be a terrible mistake for Dan Marino's offense if they made the mistake here, because this is exactly how you teach an offense to go away with the football and run out of clock. Just pound the ball, make the other team take chances.
Get this sorted out. That's the call against Miami. That's the call against Pittsburgh. Holding, personal foul.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 99. Holding, number 63, offense. The penalty's offset. Replay, second down.
In case you thought you saw a play there, you didn't. That never existed. That gets wiped off the face of the earth, and now Levon Kirkland's defense has to put that last play out of their mind, and the fact that this offense is running the ball on them. That's something that they're not used to. I mean, teams have had some success the first couple of weeks, but not physically had a chance to run the ball as these guys have today.
Now you can see the effect of the rain as the clots of grass come up on the field. Now the blitz, and John Avery, the rookie first-round draft pick from Ole Miss. That might be enough for a first down. Looks like he's got it across the 30.
They're in a better grass surface to play on than this prescription turf like this, because it absorbs the water so quickly. And when you have a big guy, you worry about divots. When you got a hummingbird like Avery, they don't kick up divots.
End of 3. Miami up by 21. We'll return right after this message and a word from your local station. we start the final quarter in Miami. Vern Lundquist, Randy Cross, Michelle Tafoya. Rain showers around the area, and we don't have a quagmire yet. I'm not sure how you define a quagmire, but the potential is there on this infield.
Look where they are. It's time to get piggy.
This could get really sloppy. Here's Marino with a handoff. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar down at the 35-yard line. Levon Kirkland, number 99, makes the tackle.
Yeah, they're very lucky this infield isn't much wetter, because in these situations sometimes you feel like those stars in front of the Grauman's Chinese Theater where they set their hands and their footprints. I mean, you land in this stuff sometimes and you just get imprinted. Everything comes up, you know, your numbers backwards in the mud, and your belt and your face mask. But this is a baseball surface. You know, so it's harder. So the ball will bounce different and give the guys nice, smooth fielding opportunities, and
remind you of Candlestick?
Lineman rashes on their elbows.
Yes. 2nd and 6. And they'll work on the clock and keep it on the ground, and Jabbar will be tackled for a loss by Earl Holmes, number 50. You had some foul weather games out in San Francisco.
Oh yeah, we had a field that's basically, for all intents and purposes, below sea level. So anytime it was high tide, you knew the grass was going to be kicked up, but you could always guarantee early in the year, if you had an infield like this, that red brick was like landing on concrete. It was the worst thing there. At least this water seems to kind of soak in. Nothing soaked into that stuff we had there. You get muddy there.
3rd and 7 in a 21-0 football game. Our mud quotient's going up here.
Well, quickly.
Blitz from the corner. Lance Brown gets to Marino about the time he lets the ball go. Might have thought he jumped and crossed the neutral zone before the snap, but no flags. 4th down.
There's no way Marino can see this coming from the outside. Lance Brown. He's looking at Oldham, 24, blitzing. He gets a nice block on Kirkland, 99, blitzing. And he just gets rid of this one, throwing it in the general direction of the receiver. But watch here, punting out of this dirt, wet surface.
Wilmsmeyer at the 20. Beauty. Andre Coleman drifts over to his left and grabs it at the 15. And is knocked out of bounds after a 5-yard return. Pittsburgh takes over, trailing by 21 points after the 52. 13:15 remaining in this one. Game 3 of the 1998 season. Dan Marino and the Dolphins leading by a 21-0 score. Dan's 10th game against Pittsburgh, and trying to even his personal record at 5-5.
I don't know if he's trying to stay dry. He doesn't want to be seen muddy.
Cordell Stewart out of the shotgun. The rain begins again. Handoff, Fred McAfee. And number 25 totes it all the way across the 30 out to the 33-yard line. Well, this I would think, Randy, the real story of this game thus far, the defensive effort of the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, absolutely. And not so much just how they've done it. They've done it physically. You know, inside, Gardner and Bowens have really stuffed the running game. But outside on the periphery, the corners have done a nice job, Buckley and Madison, of stuffing up the wide receivers. And what else can you say? Jason Taylor at the defensive end, and Zach Thomas has been, I mean, if this is what Zach Thomas is going to do all year long, he's going to Hawaii and be a Pro Bowl.
Zach Thomas, with his 2nd career touchdown, had a 17-yard pick and interception off Cordell Stewart for the last touchdown. Here's Stewart into the flat for Andre Coleman, and there again is Zach Thomas. And while we ride around in the mud here in Miami, let's go back to New York and Jim Nance.
Well, guys, the other rain game of the day, there will not be a shutout here because San Diego's Natron Means is on his way to a career-long 72-yard run and a touchdown. But it's Kansas City 23-7. Still in the 3rd quarter. Back to you.
All right, Jim. Well, his physical counterpart in this game, Jerome Bettis, has really been held in check and might not be much of a factor now with the Steelers trailing by 21. Out of the shotgun, here's Cordell Stewart. Deep right side, Will Blackwell makes the grab, and that will be enough for a first down at the 48-yard line, a gain of 16 yards.
Got a couple flags down on the field.
against Miami. I just saw that San Diego is trailing Kansas City. The Jets rolling over Indianapolis.
That's the Parcells fear factor working up there at the Meadowlands today. You don't just storm all over Peyton Manning. Beat them up the way they're beating them up. There's some people that don't have jobs Monday morning.
Illegal use of the hands. Number 99. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
Jason Taylor is called for the foul.
There's Jason Taylor right there on the bottom right part of your screen. When you're rushing as a defensive lineman, you cannot get the hand up in the face mask. See that? Up into the face mask. He's being held by Wolford, and look at Wolford. Evander Holyfield never hit Von Bean that hard all night last night in that heavyweight fight.
Little forearm shiver there. First down. Blackwell in a rainstorm. They hand it off to McAfee. He tries to get a block from Wolford. Does for a pretty nice run to the 44-yard line. And once again, let's go back to New York and check in with Jim.
All right, Vern and Randy, check this one out. Tennessee up in the fourth quarter at New England, but the Patriots Bledsoe to Glenn, slicing through the defenders on his way to the touchdown that gives them the lead back. 4:14 remaining now, and the Patriots lead by 4. Back to you.
All right, Jimmy, good early season tussle for struggle for both teams.
There's a guy right there. You just saw Terry Glenn on that touchdown. If he doesn't have a real good year for the New England Patriots, they can be no better than 9-7 or 8-8. They need that kind of a big weapon, big play guy. If he goes away this year, like he went away last year, they aren't going to be a factor.
There's the measurement for the first down, and the Steelers find themselves just short. First game of our doubleheader for you from here in Miami, and as soon as this one is over, we'll send it out west for most of you to watch the Denver at Oakland game. Others will see Baltimore, Jacksonville, and what could be a really good struggle. Denver, Oakland, Baltimore, Jacksonville, those two games coming up as the second game of the doubleheader.
Oakland committed 15 fouls last week against the New York Giants. They cannot make mistakes against Denver. Absolutely can't.
Out of the shotgun, handoff again, and this one's going to come back. This is a flag, and it will be against the Steelers. Brock Marion makes the tackle, number 31. Holding, I think I saw 68, Brendan Stein.
Holding, number 68, offense, 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
Or at least you didn't throw any flags at him, Vern. He had his number 2, but there's Brendan Stein working inside against Shane Burton. See the right hand? Right there, the right hand on the outside. That's why that's called by the umpire a holding penalty. If you do it inside, you can rip his shirt off. But on the outside, they're going to call you for holding, and they're awfully close to Bill Cowher. They're going to pretend they can't hear him. They're going to say crowd noise, and whatever you do, guys, don't look over there. But they know everything Bill Cowher is saying to him.
2nd and 11. Stewart up from McAfee, incomplete. Andre Coleman came back to be there just in case, and McAfee couldn't hang on. 3rd down. Rain started about a half an hour ago, and it is really coming down once again.
Well, Bill Cowher and his coaches have to be not only concerned about this offense today. You look down their schedule. You know, as schedules go in the NFL, they've got the hardest rated schedule as far as the opponents go in the NFL. It doesn't get real easy for very long for this football team.
Blitz from Miami again. Stewart rolls to his right. He's being chased by Wilson and is caught and dropped. Lorenzo Bromell, a 4th-round draft pick, has just picked up his 3rd sack in 2 games.
Look at Bromell. He's 6'6". He weighs about 255, 60 pounds. He's in here at defensive tackle. He's initially against the lineman. He gets knocked down by Courtney Hawkins, the wide receiver, but he's got the speed and the tenacity as a young guy to get after Cordell and get himself a part of a sack.
Josh Miller on to punt in the rainstorm. Jordan lets it bounce at the end line and go into the end zone. A 56-yard punt and nothing on the return. 10:58 to go in regulation for a little win.
By Oldsmobile, Gateway, and by American Express.
Someday they might make a movie and call it Monsoon Over Miami. It is really coming down in buckets. Jason Taylor doesn't seem to mind, though.
Well, if you're going to get muddy right now, you're going to have to go through about an inch of water to get to the mud on this infield. These folks love it. They're going to give all kinds of noise. And Dan Marino's going to have to stand over the center once he gets going and say, hey, come on, wait a minute, wait a minute. Here's the concept. You cheer when the other offense is on the field. You don't when I'm on the field.
I think the fans are cheering their own tenacity that they're sitting through this.
We're just cheering the rain.
Yep. Here's Muddy Marino. 21 zip. First down at the 20. Jabbar Carnell Lake makes the tackle at the 26-yard line. And let's go back to New York once again. Get an NFL update from Jim Nantz.
Well, Vern, the very next play after the Glenn touchdown, McNair makes a costly mistake. Picked off by Lawyer Malloy, runs it back for the touchdown, and now the Patriots are up 11 with just 2:38 remaining back to Miami.
All right, Jim, well, they're having a ball here in Miami. While we were away, there was a thunderclap, and the crowd responded with an ovation.
That a little lightning out of the defense in New England. We got a little thunder here, and the crowd loves it.
2nd and 4. Whoops. Mix up in the backfield, and Earl Holmes is there to put the stop to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He's closing in on another 100-yard afternoon. Jason Taylor, Tim Bowens, Kenny Mixon.
There's an unnecessary ingredient in the mix here. Guess which one it is? Is it 13? No. 33? Possibly 50. When you draw a play up, I don't know if you plan to have an inside linebacker 4 yards deep in your backfield right about the handoff junction point.
3rd and 7. 9:40 remaining in regulation. Jabbar into traffic at the 23. It'll be 4th down. Joel Steed, nose tackle, makes the stop for Pittsburgh. Well, they go back home next week and they take on Seattle at Three Rivers Stadium. Miami, as we said, is off, and then they go up to New York.
And I tell you, if you're having problems on the offensive side of the football, Seattle might be one of those defenses you would not pick as somebody to get healthy on. They are very, very tough. As quick as this defense for Miami, and I think maybe a little bit more physical with guys like Cortez Kennedy up front.
Wilmsmeyer line drives this one, bounces at the 44. Andre Coleman down at the 41. Nate Jaquette again, 43-yard punt, 7-yard return, 21-0 in the. Well, it makes for pretty pictures, but irritating playing conditions on a football field.
Well, if we're talking in biblical sayings, I think frogs is next.
Well, these kids, they have found the child in themselves now. A lot of playfulness going on out here with 8:30 to go. Among some, that one almost picked off. Remember when you were a small boy and it would start to rain and you go out in the alley and have a little fun?
Oh, best thing to do when you're a little kid, you get out there and you're playing tackle football in the grass and the mud. You're splashing stuff up and you're having a great time, and you get knocked down, and if you're Kevin Donnelly, a grizzled vet, a veteran, they don't ever smile on the field. Well, almost never. Yeah, I didn't even make my block, and I'm still having a good time.
2nd and 10. Blitz. Stewart, right side, caught. But it's going to come back. We had a holding call against Pittsburgh.
beg your pardon.
I believe they're going to get Jason Taylor again for another one of the hands up into the face, working against Will Wolford. And if they got him again for that, I guess we got to check out and see if he got that uppercut in there again.
Taking a little time to unravel it, and here's the call.
Yep, the hands, number 99 defense. We will see if it's a first down before we decide on the penalty.
You know, one thing, I've always considered Miami's defense sort of like pests. They're not big, they're not bullies, they're pests. They're good enough to be fast and get around you and cause you just inconveniences. Today, they have not been pests. I mean, they have been physical. When they've had to be tough, they've been tough. When they've had to be fast, they've been fast.
Hands, number 99 defense, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
And every time something happens bad, this defense finds a way to make up for it. Here's Jason Taylor right there in the matchup against Will Wolford, number 77. Remember last time he cranked his head practically off. See the left hand up into the face mask real quick? That is what the official caught, and that's why he threw the flag. One of those things the officials have been warned about at the beginning of the year. There's certain things they're going to call, and that's one of them.
Second game of the doubleheader coming as soon as we conclude things here in Miami. Most of you will see Denver at Oakland. Others will see the Baltimore-Jacksonville tussle. That's coming up when this one's in the can. 8:19 remaining in regulation. Miami stunts defensively into the flat. McAfee is going to get plowed under, and we have another flag down.
It's going to be roughing the passer. Jason Taylor and Trace Armstrong got to Cordell Stewart late.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 93. Helmet to helmet contact, first down.
In case you couldn't make that out, breaking up there. That was helmet-to-helmet contact foul called on Trace Armstrong. Watch Trace Armstrong coming from the top of the screen. Now remember, helmet-to-helmet. Boy, that's pretty ticky-tack right there. His helmet actually hit his helmet, but not for long enough to constitute a foul. I think that's looking for something and see ever so briefly a glimpse of it and calling it a penalty.
7th Miami penalty this afternoon. Stewart continues to operate out of the shotgun. Under some pressure, screen pass. McAfee is going to be caught from behind. Kenny Mixon. He's starting in the defensive line as a rookie from LSU.
Another thing I'm going to say about this defense, I've said it a few times, Vern. The speed is impressive. This is a defensive tackle, defensive end in a 3-4. Coming off the ball, chasing down the running back and making the tackle, and getting extremely dirty doing it.
Here comes the blitz. Good job of blitz pickup, man-for-man coverage for Blackwell, and Stewart overthrows him by about 3 yards. And he was open.
You know, Bill Cowher's watching his quarterback now, who's going to be a little bit of target practice because the defense knows he's got to throw it. He's got to take his shots right now. And they're going to bring stunts. They're going to bring blitzes. And they're going to just bring heat. You think they've been very effective? 68 yards passing, 3 for the Dolphins. That's not a knock on their passing game. That's a plus for their running game because they basically said we don't need the pass.
Well, coming into the game, Pittsburgh ranked 28th in the league in passing. Miami was 29th. Neither team figures to improve its statistical spot this week. And whistle before the snap.
Delay offense. 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
Well, both teams came into this football game averaging per game passing just about maybe a little bit below what Barry Switzer's wishbone teams did at Oklahoma years ago. Look at those guys. They get to sit in the blow-up chairs in the end zone The guy on the left looks like a blow-up chair.
How do you earn the right to do that?
I don't know. Is that part of probation, or is that something you win?
Third and 17. Cordell Stewart's modest numbers for the day. 10 of 32 for 75 yards. 2 interceptions. Hit as he lets it go. Incomplete. There was some thought it might be a fumble, but Bill Carollo said no, it's an incomplete pass. It'll be 4th down.
Look at Vermel right here. He's going to start in the mud. He splashes his way out of there. He runs right over the top of Will Wolford. The ball comes loose. I mean, this is going to turn into fractured flickers here for the last 7 minutes and 18 seconds. Come on, Jimmy, smile. Look, you're wet.
You might leave that headset off.
Here's a good argument for wireless headsets.
Right.
Coaches now wear wireless headsets in the league. I wouldn't be excited about wearing a headset, walking around, standing in those mud puddles and water puddles, wearing something that's wired to anything.
Jimmy does not have the GQ look today.
No, but it's kind of hard to tell difference, too, between Jimmy Johnson on one sideline and Bill Cowher on the other. Neither one of them smiling very much, but right about now, I think Jimmy can smile at least a little.
One hopper, back to Miller, who slips as he lets it go. And a fair catch is called at the 15-yard line. 31-yard punt. Time has been called. We'll be back in a moment. 7 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in regulation in Miami. The rain has let up. The mud is just it's in a state of evolution. And it's first down and 10. I don't know what's going to come oozing out of that stuff.
I'd say, how do you play baseball on this field? But I forgot, no one's really played baseball on this field since the World Series last year.
He's unloading with 7 minutes to go. And there is a guy who is dressed for GQ. Bob Ackles spent most of his administrative career in Canada, served with Jimmy Johnson at the Dallas Cowboys, and he's the director of football operations here.
Look how clean he is.
Huh?
Look, he's got the nice shoes, the pants, the jacket, nice sharp looking tie. I guarantee you there's some guys right to his right in dirty, muddy uniforms. The heck with dumping Gatorade on JJ's head. Let's play skip the executive, because you get about 30 yards of good skip off a guy if you hit those puddles right about now.
Levon Kirkland for the Pittsburgh Steelers down at the 20-yard line.
And if you're Bill Cowher, too, this is what you don't want to have happen. After you've been beaten up and embarrassed by a Dolphins football team, you don't want to add to it by getting an injury to somebody you're going to need down the road.
7 tackles and 1 sack for Levon Kirkland today. But there has not been much to smile about for Pittsburgh. 21-zip.
Really, the biggest difference is when they had to make the big plays, Miami has found a way to make it, and they've done it their way. And you know, you see part of that is the fact that their way has not been featuring Dan Marino. Look at this, 2 for 3 for 7 yards. But who'd have thunk it? I mean, those are the kind of stats Earl Morrall had in '72 while Greasy was hurt and the Dolphins were on the way to an undefeated Super Bowl title.
I think in all likelihood, at the end of this day, these would be the lowest passing totals in 3 games in Dan Marino's career. He had less than 300 in the first 2 games. That's out to the 22, and the clock keeps running. It's 6:23 remaining in this one. Well, Dan, in his career, came into this game having passed for 31.65 miles. That's wider than Rhode Island.
Well, what's impressive to me is this part of it. You know, 1,700 yards. Figure that out. How long has this guy been playing? 16 years? 16 years? What's he lose? 100 yards or so? 120 yards a year in sacks? That tells you he's had some great offensive lines here blocking for him. They could pass block good, but they've never been able to run block quite like this group has today.
To the outside goes Jabbar, and that will not be enough for a first down. Stops the clock as he gets out of bounds at the 25-yard line and brings up a fourth down. So Wilmsmeyer comes back on.
Jimmy hasn't let up. He's still working the officials on the sideline, and he's working the chain guy, telling him to stretch it out a little bit harder.
So Wilmsmeyer is on to punt. Andre Coleman waits for it at the 27. .5:22 to go, regulation play. Second game of the doubleheader coming up next. Most of you see Denver, Oakland. Oh, what a nice downfield play. That's 5 special teams tackles for Jackett. 52-yard punt, nada on the return.
There's people I said earlier on this football team for Jimmy Johnson. They're there because of special teams. Jackett is one of them. That's your job. You get down there and do it. He can enjoy it, and he can do whatever he wants after he makes this play. But I guarantee you, Jimmy Johnson's just standing on the sideline going, son, that's why I brought you here. That's why you're still here. Keep doing it, or you won't be here.
First down, Pittsburgh. Ruddy, the center of it all.
Oh, you know, you've got mud and grime and stuff in all kinds of places that you know mud and grime don't belong right now, and you're trying to figure out how to get rid of it before the game ends so you don't get just, it's terrible.
Cordell Stewart is hit and driven down as he gets rid of the ball. He does complete the pass. Courtney Hawkins makes the grab. Don't forget, tonight is the CBS premiere Sunday with all new episodes of 60 Minutes and Touched by an Angel. And then the CBS Sunday night movie The Marriage Fool starring Walter Matthau and Carol Burnett. That's all tonight on CBS Premiere Sunday. 2nd and 3. 4:40 to go. Stewart incomplete, overthrows Johnson. Terrell Buckley defending and a flag down. And then we'll see whether this is it's going to be on Terrell Buckley. Jets.
Pass interference. Number 27 defense. Automatic first down.
New England wins today. And Buffalo leading St. Louis by 5. Kansas City continues to roll over San Diego.
And what does that tell you? The Rams in '93, folks. That was the LA Rams. That's how long it's been since they've been shut out.
Stewart picked off. Intercepted by Sam Madison. That's his second of the day. He's looking for blocking help. Will cut it back. Watch this run. Well, don't watch. It has. Appropriately, he looks like a water bug. Man, what a nifty run by Sam Madison. What a dismal day for Cordell Stewart.
Just watch it. And you tell me out there, do you throw this? Madison just sits on it, sees Cordell Stewart, and now he does his imitation of spit on a griddle. Because once that spit hits the griddle, it starts dancing and going crazy. Vern, you were saying, where is he going? He didn't know where he was going. His gyro was off.
Well, that brings a smile from Jimmy Johnson. 4:17 to go. Madison's second interception. And Marino was back to hand it off some more.
Don't go out of bounds.
Flag is down. Levon Kirkland with a tackle. And that one will come back against the Fish.
10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
That holding call or illegal use of hands against Troy Drayton worked at the tight end position.
And they march it back to the 46-yard line.
Yeah, this has been a great defensive effort. Yeah, Cordell Stewart has made some mistakes, and he's made a lot of mistakes, but it's one thing to have a quarterback make mistakes, and sometimes defenses can't take advantage. They've taken advantage of every mistake Stewart made, and they've created a lot of mistakes that the Steelers have made.
First and 18 after the penalty. And here's Jabbar down to the 43-yard line. Now, Jimmy Johnson has not gotten himself out of this ball game, has he?
Well, either has it official. You know, we got our field judge right there saying, Coach, you're up 21-0. Come on. You're going to run the ball. You're running this thing out. Just working it. He's working it for a future game, not for this one, for another one.
Doubleheader game 2 coming up next on CBS. Most of you will see the Denver-Oakland Raider encounter. Others will see Baltimore at Jacksonville as soon as this one is in the record books. We're 3:24 away. Jabbar tackled as he gets near the 31-yard line. That should put him over 100 yards for the day. A gain of 12 for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
That game coming up after us, a Denver game. John Elway with a hamstring sounds like a lot of Terrell Davis. And so far today, Pittsburgh's seen a lot of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Remember the runs that have been called back for Jabbar. The yards he could have had if not for the penalties he's gotten. Not spectacular, not Barry Sanders fast or quick. This guy just gets the job done, and when you're looking at what I say earlier, 28 carries or so, 100 and something yards, 33 carries, 108 yards. He does that against you, you lose.
Here's John Avery, the #1 draft pick, and another flag. Looks like a United Nations parade. Holding.
Holding, number 61, offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay, third down.
You know, another reason why he's not smiling is when you get the ball back with 4 minutes and something seconds left, he wants his offense to run the ball down somebody's throat and run out the clock, completely run it back to 0. Penalties stop the clock, and the offense can't do it. I mean, just a little thing, but he's setting up something for a game or 2 games or 3 games down the line. He wants his offense to prove to him that they can run the clock out and just kill it. They almost did it last week, but not quite. He wants to see the total job this time.
3rd and 12 as we get close to the 2-minute warning. Well, the last time the Dolphins pitched a shutout, 1993 in the divisional playoffs against the San Diego Chargers, 31-0. This defensive unit of Miami has been most impressive today, highlighted by 3 pass interceptions. 2-minute warning. Cordell Stewart looks on. Not much he can do now. 21-0 is the score. 4th down. And the Steelers about to suffer their first defeat of the season. Miami to go 3-0 with a day off or a week off next week.
Cordell Stewart told us we all got to do what comes natural, the whole team. The only guy that's been a highlight for the Steelers has been the punter, Josh Miller.
Right.
Bad sign.
That one into the end zone and will come out to the 20-yard line. Final score, New England wins it over Tennessee by 11. And the second game of our doubleheader coming up next. Denver at Oakland and Baltimore at Jacksonville. Most of you will watch the Bronco Raider encounter. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, second game in 3 that he's been over 100 yards this season. And Jerome Bettis held under 50 for the second time in 3 games.
But 33 carries is that Dolphin regular season record. 33. Think about the guys that have run in them. Larry Zonka never carried more than 33 times. You'd have a hard time convincing a lot of defenses that group played against they didn't run the ball 33 times by Zonka.
Tomczak is in at quarterback now for the Pittsburgh Steelers. A veteran who has been a backup to Cordell Stewart for the last couple of years. Mike now in his 14th year, free agent from Ohio State University.
Tomczak, a good solid backup, you know, once a starter in this league, and a rare luxury that Bill Cowher can have is having a quarterback like this as a second-team quarterback. But his big problem is standing in front of Mike Tomczak, and that's Cordell Stewart and the job he didn't do today and hasn't done this year. And same could be said for this entire offense of the Steelers. Today's effort was extremely weak.
That is Richard Huntley, who gets out near the 30-yard line, just short of a first down, and we're in the final minute of this one.
And probably the most surprising thing about this whole deal, you know, those are terrible stats. I mean, that's not surprising, that's revolting. The most surprising thing about this whole deal, though, I mentioned earlier, this football team from Pittsburgh, the Steelers, was beaten physically today by the Miami Dolphins. If you had doubts about the Dolphins coming into this game, and honestly, I was one of the people that had doubts about the Dolphins coming in here, you can no longer say they can't be a physical football team, because they've got guys like Sean Bowens and Gardner up front in the middle. They got Zach Thomas and all the speed like Jason Taylor they need on that defensive side of the ball. And you know what? They can run the ball because they did it against the Steelers.
Now, Jimmy Johnson has always said that his best draft pick ever was Emmitt Smith when he was in Dallas. Now the Dolphins have a 4th-round draft pick who's out on the field right now, number 91, Lorenzo Bromell. He might be the steal of the draft. He's gotten 3 sacks in 2 games. He was inactive for game 1. A young man, had some academic problems, went to Georgia military, then transferred to Clemson. Injured his junior year, did not participate in the combine, and was a 4th-round draft pick, and is really expected to be a force. Here's the handoff on the right side. You were telling Jimmy yesterday you thought he was the perfect kind of physical type for him to draft.
Well, he's a Jimmy defensive end. Look at the guys he's had, whether it's been Tolbert or Haley or Jason Taylor, or in this case, this Bromell kid. He wants size and strength inside, and he wants speed on the outside. And this young man's got all the attributes he wants.
Modest numbers for Dan Marino, but the Dolphins are 3-0. Horrible numbers for Cordell Stewart, and the Steelers fall for the first time. The Miami Dolphins throw a shutout at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Our final score, 21-0. Miami wins it. Coming up next, Game 2 of our CBS doubleheader, Denver, Oakland, or Baltimore, Jacksonville. For Randy Cross and Michelle Tafoya, I'm Vern Lundquist saying so long from Pro Player Stadium in Miami, where the Dolphins have beaten Pittsburgh 21-0. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports.